dear. And here we go.
All right.
Hello, everyone. We will be doing today My Little Dashie.
Yep. Most of you probably already heard it or heard of it. It gained a huge amount of popularity. This story was kind of what motivated us to make a channel for readings in the first place after listening to Azka's reading of My Little Dashie. And so, we decided we'd put this on our list of things to do, and we decided we got a lot of extra time today, and we thought we'd do it because it's kind of a longer story.
I just realized I'm wearing my Rainbow Dash 20% Cooler shirt.
Nice.
We're doing this. Oh, no. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right. We didn't talk about how we're going to do this.
Oh, well.
I can do the pony.
Yeah. My Little Dashie by Rob Cacran, 53. I think that's his name.
Hold on. Yes.
Rob Cacran, 53. However you want to pronounce it.
All right.
I live my life one day at a time. A good portion of those days are uneventful, always falling in the same routine. I wake up, walk to work, walk home, and then bum around until I go to bed. Sometimes I'll hang or with a few of my friends, while other times I'll just play video games or watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Every so often, something new and interesting happens. I meet an old friend, find $1 on the ground, or I get chased by a stray dog. Living in a dying city isn't very fun or interesting. This city was once full of life and color, but now most of the houses are sagging. The businesses sit empty and abandoned, and several open fields lay barren of the once great factories that helped drive the economy. Kind of sounds like Detroit.
Maybe they're in Detroit.
I had never seen this city during those times in person, but I have seen pictures. My mother and father lived happily, and they could only wish the same for me growing up. Sadly, I cannot say that I have achieved that wish of theirs. I have fallen into the same dull routine. Wake, work, sleep, repeat. I do have some moments of bliss, but the daily struggles I go through outweigh the small moments of joy that I have. My Little Pony has helped, but it's still just another thing to get my hopes up on. Every time I see the show or one of the ponies on a fun sight, I recoil a bit at the bright colors, the joyful faces of the ponies, and the peaceful scenery of their world. It's so hard to look at that beautiful world, having it so close to my grasp. I reach out to touch its warm colors and bright, smiling faces of the ponies, only to be stopped by my computer screen. I snapped back to reality. It gets to the point where I will simply shut down my computer and walk away. I do that a lot, especially after my parents' death. I go for a walk. When I feel sad, I walk. When I feel tired, I walk. When I feel like walking, I walk. Walking has become my second life in a sense. I spend at least half of my day outside along the crumbling sidewalks and decaying suburbs. I've seen people come and go. I've seen buildings torn down, burned up, or have so much graffiti on its walls that its original color is unrecognizable. I very rarely pass any other people on my strolls. Most people don't like to look at their once beautiful city, their homes or former businesses. I don't blame them. In fact, I envy them. They saw this place with their own 2 eyes, seeing the buildings still standing tall and proud, the lawns freshly cut, the paved roads, and the sidewalks still intact. The only thing I've ever seen that comes close is my mother's paintings. Each of them colorful scenes of this kind of... That fucking crow is really pissing me off. 1 second, I have to go close a window.
We'll be right back. Oh dear. And crow is now gone.
God, these fucking things.
We're good?
Okay. The only thing I've ever seen that comes close is my mother's paintings, each of them colorful scenes of the concrete world. She started painting once everything crumbled beneath her feet, making the sad scenery before her look beautiful. Her masterpiece is of an open field that yielded a parking garage. Over it, she drew an amazing rainbow. My favorite picture. I guess that is a part of why I like Rainbow Dash the most out of all the other ponies. Her colors, the amazing sonic rain boom, all remind me of that picture. There have been times I wished I had my own Rainbow Dash, or more realistically, a plushie of her, to curl up in bed with. I've made an old Simba into a temporary replacement, until I am able to save enough money for one. It helps in a way, like holding it close will heal my wounds, my pain, and my sorrow. My feet, after countless hours of walking in my old shoes, pulsate under the sheet. And all the while, I'll hold that stuffed animal harder than a mother protecting her child. It's the only thing I can look at and feel pure true joy. Feel true joy. Even if it isn't physically the Rainbow Dash I want. It will have to do.
It sounded like you said Jew joy.
Today, as usual, I walked to work. It was the same shit, just a different day. Watching the same people enter the store, grab their merchandise and pay, then walk out with bags in tow. My shift ended after several hours of this. I clocked out and started walking home. I decided to use a different route this time, for a change in pace. A little something different from the normal path I walk. This part of town was hit the worst, only a few houses still stand, and none of them occupied. It truly is a sad sight to see. Then again, it's really the only sight I see. The only sight I'll ever see. Or so I thought. I was stopped by something unusual. A stray cardboard box in the middle of the sidewalk. Now, living in this kind of area, I see trash all the time. Boxes, McDonald's cups, and plastic bags litter the streets and empty fields. But rarely will I see a cardboard box that isn't crushed in one way or another. I noticed this particular box because it happened to be in my way. During my younger years, I tried to do what I could for the community. I'd pick up trash when I saw it, and I'd attempt to help my neighbors. It was a losing battle. Nowadays, I'd given up any hope of cleaning this city, much less my neighborhood. Now I'll just pass the trash by, letting it blow away in the breeze or sit there and decompose. I let what's left of the people do their own things, since most of them don't care about anyone other than themselves. Why should I be any different? I walked past the box, barely giving it a glance. Nothing about it caught my attention right away. I continued on, my home not far away now. Upon arriving, I sat down and played some games, attempting to push the box out of my mind. I had little luck, as the box somehow managed to push its way back in. Time crept on by, and I soon found myself wanting to go for another walk. I left my house and started down my usual route when I stopped. What was it about that box that made it stick out in my mind? I turned around and started down the path I had taken to get home. The path that I only walk once in a blue moon. Curiosity got the best of me, and I wanted some closure. Within minutes I found it, still sitting there, sad and alone among broken concrete and overgrown grass. It didn't move. It didn't stand out as if it were special. It was an ordinary brown cardboard box. I didn't want to say I came here for nothing, so I walked closer to it. As I drew closer, however, I began to notice something inside. It was brightly colored, multiple colors in fact, and was quite small, maybe the size of a few-month-old Labrador puppy. I stopped beside the box and looked down at the colorful blob inside. This is where I currently stand, looking into the box at a small something. No, I know exactly what it is, but my brain isn't allowing me to fully realize it just yet. At first I want to say it's simply a toy, left to die along with all the other things on this block. But then I saw it breathing. In fact, it appears to be sleeping. My hands are sweating, my breathing is erratic, and I'm blinking my eyes trying to refresh my vision. Each time the image stays the same. Inside is a sleeping, filly Rainbow Dash. I kneel down, trying to get a closer look into the box. I can't believe what I'm seeing. There's not a physical, mental, or extraterrestrial way how this could be here. How she could be here. In my gloomy, dark, and horrid world, I examine the box further, and on the side it simply says in pen, "Give to good home." The first thought that runs through my mind, besides the initial Philly Rainbow Dash in a box, is, who would give up a Philly Rainbow Dash? My mind is now a mess of questions. How did she get here? Why is she here? Why is she a Philly? Her flank is even barren of her cutie mark, meaning she is indeed a Philly. As I stand to stretch my tired legs, I accidentally bump the side of the box with my foot, and the inevitable occurs. She wakes up. She looks around, rubbing her face with the foreleg, trying to wake herself up. At first, all she sees are the brown walls of the box, but then she looks up, to me. Those large black eyes, along with the rose-colored rim around them, drive my heart to, as the meme goes, explode. Twice. The sheer cuteness of it all drives me to kneel back down, and I can't hold back a smile. I haven't smiled like this in years, since the last time me and my parents went out to the only remaining park in the area. Her eyes continue to stare at me, and I stare back. I don't know what to say, or what to do, but I must start somewhere. "Hi there," I speak, but she doesn't respond. What are you doing out here?" She looks around, then back to me. The more I study her, the more I realize she is really young. Years younger than her Philly appearance in episode 23. Funny how he can memorize exactly what episode that is.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I'm a pretty hardcore brony, and I don't even know that.
You really are.
She might not even be able to talk yet. That is, if she can even talk in my world. The fact that she is even existing right now has me reeling in confusion. I return my attention back to her and notice a small shiver of her body. The fall season is here, and it can get pretty cold. Yeah, it's definitely Detroit, especially around mid-September.
Definitely Detroit.
I'm not sure how to exactly tackle this situation. Do I take her home? Do I call someone? Who would I even call?
Ghostbusters.
I'm a closet brony, so none of my friends know about my love of the show. I can't take her to a shelter. That's a stupid thought in the first place. Not only would it be a horrible sight, she might be taken off to some lab and experimented on or something, just as equally horrible. Oh my god. Human cupcakes.
Oh shit.
I have only one choice. She shakes once more as the cool air reaches her coat. Her wings ruffle and she lays back down and huddles her legs closer to her body to keep warm. That's the final straw. I can't take anymore. I take off my own jacket and reach down to pick her up. The initial response I expected, fear. She begins to squirm around, unsure what I'm doing to her. She can't fly yet, but she still flutters her wings as in praying for a miracle to happen, that she does magically take flight. I set her into my jacket, wrap her up so her head is sticking out, and hold her in my arm. Aww. She continues to squirm, but then my body heat begins to finally seep through the thin jacket, and she settles down. Mm-hmm. It's all right. Let's get you somewhere warmer, huh? I smile again at her. She looks up to me with much confusion in her eyes, as she tries to process what is happening. Don't worry. I'm not going to hurt you. It's getting late, and you'll freeze out here. I think she understands me, for after I say those words, her eyes return to their normal size, and she snuggles herself more comfortably inside my jacket.
Aww.
She squirms a little, trying to get into a more comfortable position. I can feel her hooves and wings poking me as she shifts. Then, to top it off, she rests her chin on my arm and lets out a deep sigh, closing her eyes to drift off to sleep. My heart explodes for a third time. The entire walk back, I keep an eye out for other people who could pass by me. I don't want anyone else to see her. I have no way of knowing how they would react. As usual, though, I don't see a single person. It's midnight by the time I get home. Fortunately for us both, I had turned on my porch light. Otherwise, I might have passed it. being one of the few occupied homes on the block meant a lot of darkness. The city even stopped running power to the streetlights, so that made it all more difficult. I glanced down at the filly, who continued to sleep in the jacket as I carried her. She was no longer shivering, and felt quite warm. I walked up to my porch, careful not to make too much noise as I got my keys out, unlocked the 2 deadbolts, the master lock, and finally the doorknob. I opened my door. It is dark inside. Due to me sorry, this is kind of a random spot to stop, but we don't really know if he lives in the United States, so we don't know it is Detroit.
If it is the United States, then it's most likely Detroit.
It is dark inside, due to me leaving while it is still light out. With a flick of a switch, the single bulb in the hallway comes to life, shedding some light into the living room. Most of the furnishings are my parents'. Then again, so is the house. I became the owner of it after their passing, and have done what I could to keep it that way. Still with the filly Rainbow Dash in my arm, I walk into the living room. As I pass my family portrait, I greet it with a, "Hello, Mom. Hello, Dad." I know they aren't there, but knowing that they love me and that I love them helps me stay sane, and to keep going in my miserable life. As I enter the living room, I can feel stirring in my arm. She had woken up, most likely when I turned on the light, and is now getting antsy. With no idea what to do or how to tackle the situation, I don't like repetition myself, I set her down on the couch. Immediately she jumps out of the jacket and looks around, already investigating her surroundings. I continue to watch her as she explores the couch, then continues to the coffee table. "What are you doing here in my world?" I didn't mean to ask out loud, but it just sort of happens every now and then. Only seeing my few friends once in a great while, I find myself talking to, myself a lot. I don't own a pet, because that just means more money to dish out, and I'm already struggling as it is. From my question, the only response I get is another blank look on her face. That tells me she has no clue either. Then again, what else should I expect from a filly that can't even talk yet? "Are you lost?" The moment that the words left my mouth, her ears fall and she looks to the ground. Oh. The realization strikes that she has no clue what is going on, where she is, who I am, or anything else. She's beyond the word loss. She's misplaced. Well, until something happens, I guess you can stay with me. I see how she lifts her head up, ears starting to erect once again, and looks at me with a worry. My words don't sound that encouraging, so I throw on a smile as I speak. "Don't worry. I'm sure whatever brought you here will fix itself within time. We just gotta wait. Is that all right?" I'm not sure why I asked that, but it seems to do the trick. Her ears perk right up, and she smiles. The next few hours are spent giving her the grand tour of my house. Nothing amazing to see, and I avoid taking her into my bedroom out of fear that the large amount of dirty clothes would swallow her up.
It's like my room.
Afterwards, I give her something to eat. I break some small carrots, and amazingly, I discover that she has some teeth. Since she is still a filly, I wasn't sure if she could eat solid food such as carrots yet. Then again, she is from a cartoon, so I don't know what is correct for her anyway. Satisfied with the food, she finds a comfy spot on my father's recliner and sits. I don't mind. It's not like I sit in it. I was never allowed to when he was alive, so why should that change even after his passing? It's his chair. But I'm not going to be mean to the filly for not knowing that, so I let her sit where she is most comfortable. I also give her a small bucket to what... I mix those two words up a lot. To puke in case she's nauseous. I also give her a small blanket to wrap herself in. Due to my house's current temperature, it's not as cold as it is outside, but my furnace has had problems ever since my parents' passing.
Before.
had problems since before my parents' passing. There was a trick to fixing it, but that died along with my father. I must have fallen asleep at some point. I honestly expected myself to be wide awake due to such an interesting event, but after the long hours at work and staying up to take care of Dashie, Dash, god damn, cannot talk, my body had other plans. I'm not sure how long I was out before I woke, but it doesn't matter. As I close my eyes, I feel something against my side. I look, and sleeping beside me is a small cyan filly, her rainbow mane and tail still, her head resting on the inside of my elbow. I know the meme gets old, but I must say it. My heart exploded again. Lying there, sleeping curled up beside me, had me smiling ear to ear. Her gentle breaths are barely heard. The hairs on her mane tickle my arm, but I hold back any movement to itch. The warmth of her body against my stomach warms my already weak heart. Although a few months isn't a long time, it's how long I have wanted a moment like this. My own little pony, a Rainbow Dash plushie to sleep with and hold tight. And now I have a real Rainbow Dash, a filly, sleeping at my side, content as though she's known me since birth. Right now, there is nothing else that matters to me. My despair, my sore feet, and painful heart all go unnoticed, as nothing else can come remotely close to the feeling I have right now. This joy I'm experiencing at this moment, as I lay awake on my couch. She is here. She's real. Right now, she is my little pony. She is my little Dashie. Alright, I think we'll end this first part right here and continue doing more readings and get some more parts of this posted very soon. As in, most likely the same day.
Alright.
Alright.